Okay. What here might weaken our supplier bargaining power? What might make it harder for suppliers to have a lot of bargaining power with Nike, Adidas, Under Armour? Yeah. Not how many stores, but how big the companies are, right? Those are three big companies. And if we're a supplier of fabric and we lose the Nike contract, we're gonna lose a lot of money, right? So it's three large companies. Even though we have, maybe if we're a supplier, we have proprietary kind of fabric. We're gonna call ourselves company A. Mike, you're gonna own company B, okay? Company B makes this very, very similar kind of fabric. It doesn't cost very much for Nike, Adidas, or Under Armour to switch between those fabrics, okay? So there's low switching costs on some things. One more thing we're gonna put on here. Anyone think of what it might be? Talked a lot about their proprietary fabric. But what if you just want an Under Armour t-shirt, right? A cotton t-shirt, okay? So there's a lot of non-differentiated supply too. Because if all three of them are going to make a cotton t-shirt with just their logo on it, okay? You have a nice t-shirt on, right? Probably made out of cotton. It looks just like a nice cotton t-shirt. All right? Nike doesn't care where they get that material from. Okay? They're going to look for the lowest price for that, for the most part. Okay? It's when they are making specialty products, they might do something different. Okay? All right, so I will come back and do the overall here in just a second. One more. We have our bargaining power of buyers. We're going to think about buyers a little bit differently, though. When we're talking about buyers, we're not talking about individual consumers. Yes, you can go to a Nike store, you can buy Jordans, you can go to an Under Armour store, buy a shirt, okay? What we're going to talk about are retail chains, big chain retailers that sell athletic wear, okay? And I'm thinking how I want to word this. Highly visible sports teams. Those are going to be the two biggest buyers in this market. Okay. As a consumer, we're going to go and we're going to buy from those big retailers. But as a consumer, we don't have a lot of bargaining power. Our bargaining power is either we buy or we don't. We can't try to bargain on the price. Okay. We can't go into Dick's Sporting Goods, pick up an Under Armour shirt that's $35 and go up to the front and say, hey, I'm only going to pay $17 for this. Right? Done the buyer, and I can do that. We don't need to do that. That doesn't work. So we're looking at buyer bargaining power from the big chain retailers and from highly visible sports teams. So football teams, baseball teams, soccer teams, big sports arenas. Okay? Olympic athletes, right? The Olympics are going to pick probably a chain or a company. So what might intensify our buyer bargaining power? What might give our buyers more power when they're purchasing?
So does it have anything to do with retailers buying?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
So that would be considered lead pressure?
No, that's an intense pressure, right? Because if we're a retailer and we say, hey, we're gonna buy some stuff from you, we're probably not gonna buy 100 shirts, right? We're gonna buy like 5,000 shirts. Okay, so the more we buy, the more power we have because they want that bigger contract. Okay, so buy in bulk. I'm gonna put an R after this for retailers. There's some differences in our retailers and our sports teams. What else?
Like the team or the individual or whatever.
Yeah, so let's word that, I don't want to word that. If we have a very successful team and they're wearing Nike products, Nike gets a lot of exposure, right? So exposure from our sports teams. Sports teams get to choose what they want to wear, right? So if I don't know. If the Kansas City Chiefs decided they want to wear all Adidas shoes or cleats, whatever football players wear, I don't know. Okay, they have a lot of power to pick that. Okay, so they have the power to choose. If this season we want to wear all shoes made by Nike, does it cost a whole lot of money to switch to a different company? Not really. So here, low switching costs are good for the buyer. We're going to think about this on a little bit more small scale. When I was in high school, I played volleyball. Our volleyball team all wore the same shoes. We all had Nike tennis shoes. Okay? If the next season we all decided to wear Adidas tennis shoes, switching that doesn't cost very much, right? So we can take it down to kind of low scale. Would be the same for a larger team. What might weaken the bargaining power? Yeah.
So a lot of times, like colleges and stuff, they're in like longer term contracts, so they have investment.
Under Armour has contracts with 2 colleges. One to help make products, one to specifically outfit those student athletes in those products. So weak pressure there is contracts. All right, so let's go back and figure out whether these are high or low or kind of in the middle. Substitutes. Substitutes, there's not really a lot of intense pressure and weak pressure. Those are the 3 big names. So here we're going to put this kind of moderate pressure. That's okay. The suppliers have a lot of bargaining power overall. Yeah, I would say so. So we're going to put high here, or strong. Buyers have a lot of power when they buy. Except for the contracts, yeah. Buyers do a lot of power there. So I was going to say strong. In the apparel manufacturing or apparel manufacturing area, buyers and suppliers are going to have a lot of power overall. So we look at this. We have strong rivalry among our existing firms. We have strong supplier bargaining power, strong buyer bargaining power. Moderate substitutes. So substitutes, they matter. They're on our radar, but we're not real concerned about them. And there's a weak threat of new companies coming in and operating at our level. So overall, what we'd probably say is, oh wow, my brain just stopped working. Collectively, the strength of our competitive 5 forces is moderate to strong, but definitely not so strong that it's going to keep us from earning profits, right? So there's a lot of stuff maybe working against us in the industry, but it's not going to keep us from earning money. There's a lot of rivalry. There's a lot of power that's not in our hands. That's not going to stop us from earning any money. All right. This is how you do a 5 forces analysis. In this is in chapter 4 of your book, right? Is it chapter 3 or 4? think it was chapter 4. In the chapter this is in your book, okay, it goes through and tells you which of a bunch of different things would make something more intense or make it weaker, okay? It gives you some ideas to kind of run with there. And the reason that's important is this eventually is going to be part of your CSR document. Now, you're not going to have to do as many. I only want like 2 or 3 things in each category, but it's going to be part of that document, okay? So let's talk about what's been going on with Under Armour since 2016. I have some things over here on the board that if you are in class, you can see. If you're not in class, I'm sorry. Might be hard to see that. What's been happening with Under Armour since 2016? Does anybody know?
Wasn't there like I don't want to call it a scandal, but something happened in 2017 with the executives?
There was a scandal.
There was a scandal.
There was a scandal. There was an accounting scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Makes me, that doesn't make me happy that there was a accounting scandal, but I like talking about it. So in 2017, they started being investigated by the SEC. They did not have to disclose that investigation until the company felt that the results of that investigation were what we call an accounting material, which just means super important, okay, a big deal. So they didn't actually disclose that until November 4th, 2019, but it started back in 2017, okay? What was happening was they were recognizing revenue before they'd actually earned it. All right, so in accounting, you don't write down revenue or sales until you've actually either sold the product or if you are a service company provided that service. Someone pays you in advance, you count that as a liability until you provided the service. And they were writing those things down, those advance payments down as revenue when they were receiving the payments. And that is absolutely 100% against generally accepted accounting principles and illegal. Now, I haven't yet found out the results of that. I think they might still be under some investigation. But when they announced this, that they were under investigation, their stock price fell 19% in one day, the first day. And it has had trouble recovering since then. They've been trying to do some things, though, to make that recover. Do you want to know what they've been trying to do? New marketing campaigns. Featuring what specifically? Think about, do you think about this in terms of sports endorsements with athletes? They've been endorsing a specific kind of athlete recently.
Michael Phelps.
Nope and no. They've been going after endorsements for women athletes. They've highly increased their endorsements of women athletes. And a lot of other companies haven't done that yet. So they've changed their marketing campaign. They have went after Stephen Curry. They got him Steph Curry, they got him away from Nike somehow. But they've also been trying to endorse or have contracts with more female athletes. Something else happened about a month ago, August 26, 2020. They have a lawsuit, a $200 million lawsuit against them from UCLA. So when we talked about contracts under weak pressure for buyer bargaining power, UCLA was the school they had a contract with to outfit all of their student athletes in Under Armour, okay? Which would be great for Under Armour because UCLA is a big school, right? In terms of our sports teams that have notoriety, right? Big colleges would be one of those, okay? UCLA says that they broke their contract. Under Armour says they didn't, so they are being sued by UCLA. The results of that haven't come out at all yet because that's still being looked into. I don't think it's actually made it to court yet. So we have that going on. So where do you guys think Under Armour is going to try to go from where they are right now, coming out of coronavirus where everyone's sales are down, into the next year? What are they trying to do now? Anybody know? Anyone do a little outside research? One of the bigger growing areas of athletic wear is athleisure wear. Okay. So like really comfy, like yoga pants and joggers and things like that. Okay. Under Armour is starting to try to break into that market a little bit more and compete with companies like Lululemon and things like that. So they're trying to change their strategy and go after a niche market a little more now going forward. I don't know if that's going to work for them. I mean, I'm still not going to, it's too expensive, so I'm not going to buy it. So that's just my personal opinion. Okay. Any questions about what we did up here? It's a lot of information, different way of thinking about how companies interact in their industry, right? Last Thursday, I gave you guys an assignment that's due this next Thursday, working on your CSR proposals up through the core values. That's still your only assignment. We're not going to add anything to that yet. So if your group's already done that, you're good. No new homework. Not make sure you get that document done through the core values, please. If you have any questions for me, come and talk to me. If not, you're free to go, and I will see you Thursday.